Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And Disney is going to be seeing a lot of green this week, but not the green they want to see.
Okay.
We're talking rotten reviews.
Okay, I get it now. Get it.
Rotten
it took me a
reviews.
minute. Okay.
But they'll probably see some money too, but I think those rotten reviews might actually downgrade their weekend box office, but it's dire. I have to admit, we did a video this morning talking about the overnight reactions because review embargo lifted, and you know, we kind of got the first take of people on the Rise of Skywalker. I thought it would actually go up, but it's actually gone down.
Yeah, it's been fluctuating all day, but mostly to the bad. To the bad,
and I have to be honest, I did not expect this movie to get reviews this bad. I honestly thought it would be in the 70s, 80s. I didn't think it was going to be a 90-something on Rotten Tomatoes. But I did not expect it to be the worst reviews since the Phantom Menace.
Right. It's pretty bad. I don't know what to say. It's just, and this is the critics, of course. We haven't got the audience yet. I think it's going to be interesting when the audience scores come out, because I think that's when, if they have a way to finagle the scores and tweak them a little bit the way they would like, they're going to go for the audience scores. But as we know, the audience scores don't count to the overall rotten or fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes.
No, and Disney lately, there's been some weirdness about the audience scores. We saw it with Maleficent, that a lot of them seemed very bot-like. They were very robotic. They didn't seem very genuine. So we'll see. That might be the card they play to try to salvage this movie. But we've seen the ending. And we'll talk about the endings.
Oh, yeah.
Bull
Oh, my God.
shit.
Yeah, Neon's very upset.
I refuse to go see this movie. I'm not going to go see it.
Yeah, it's not good. Anyway, go ahead. What were you going to do?
Anyway, before we get into the video and talk about Disney's very, very bad week here for Rise of Skywalker, please subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, we're at about 85-ish thousand subs. Thank you so much. Hoping to join that six-figure club soon.
Woohoo!
We really appreciate it, guys. Okay, so this surprised me because I thought, well, what they'll do if it gets bad reviews is they'll sweep it under the rug, or they'll fudge.
They can't. It's Star Wars. They can't sweep it under the rug. This is not like Maleficent, where they had those commercials. This is #1 movie, and it wasn't.
Oh, this will be the #1 movie. This will be the #1 movie, but you know, I think it's going to die off quickly. Subjective. So Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker on USA Today, getting the worst reviews since Phantom Menace. Yeah, so as of the writing of this, it was 57%. And we are currently at, I think, 58. When we took a look at it this morning, it was 62. It actually had Little Tomato.
It was 53 earlier, though, in the day. So it's been up and down. It's been like, get your popcorn ready and watch, because it's all over the place.
I think they will do what they have to do to get that thing over.
Oh, they're going
into the
to.
red.
They're going to do everything they can do.
They'll call in every favor they can.
I'm sure, 100%.
But we've seen a lot of Star Wars defenders turn on this movie.
Well, here's the thing. Just like we said, we said this many times. It's going to be a movie for no one. You're already pissed off the original fan base.
Yeah.
They're already mad. And now you're going to turn around and tick off the people who love The Last Jedi. You know, the ones who are going around calling everybody racist, misogynist, whatever, hater, troll, man, baby, whatever, because you didn't like the movie. Because maybe you just didn't like the movie for whatever reason, but it's automatically because there's something wrong with you. And they're somehow superior. Those people don't like it either, a lot of them. So now they know what it feels like.
Yeah, now you know how it feels. But
and there's some reviews we're going to read that show that.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we were afraid of, because I'm like, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. You've already destroyed any chance of this sequel trilogy being a fan pleaser with The Last Jedi, and to hurry up and undo it, then you're just alienating all those.
Disney's biggest mistake was Rian Johnson and The Last Jedi. I mean, you can trace it all back to that. I mean,
Everything.
The Force Awakens was derivative, yes, but I was still excited to see the next one, because I'm like, okay, I get it. I understand. I mean, I know why you had to, make it feel familiar. I get that. And then I was so excited for The Last Jedi, and then I saw it, and I was like in it not even a couple minutes, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that was just a few minutes in. So
and I actually didn't mind The Force Awakens. I've actually watched it more than once, but Last Jedi, watched it in the theater, walked out freaking angry.
We don't even own it.
No, we don't even.
It's the only one we don't own.
Literally, The Last Jedi is the only Star Wars movie we don't own. We even own Solo. We don't have. We don't have
Ewoks.
We don't have the Ewoks.
Battle
we
for
need
Endor.
And the holiday special. We need that. But yeah, probably not the greatest news for Disney Lucasfilm right before the release of one of the year's most highly anticipated movies. Skywalker marks the worst reviews for a Star Wars film since the 1999 prequel, The Phantom Menace. So here we go. I've actually got them pulled up, ranked. All Star Wars movies ranked. So Phantom Menace, 53%. You actually got a worse score than Attack of the Clones. Which, in my opinion, my personal opinion, I actually think Attack of the Clones is worse than The Phantom Menace. Just because of the dialogue.
But it's not worse than The Last Jedi.
No. But we're talking critical score. In my personal ranking, it is toward the bottom, though. I did like the big fight on Geonosis. I like Jango Fett, but I thought Anakin and Padme was just cringe.
Yeah.
You know, I think most people did. Solo, 70%. A lot of people made a big deal about how Solo wasn't doing very well on Rotten Tomatoes, and they've got it beat. Of course, Revenge of the Sith, 80%. Return of the Jedi, 82%. Rogue One, 83%. So far...
Rogue One, only 83.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It actually dropped. I think it was like 85 or 86%.
I call bullshit that The Last Jedi is 91%.
Yeah. So Last Jedi, 91%. Force Awakens, 93%. And of course, we have, you know, the gold standards, New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, 93 and 94%. Now, you know, it's hard for anybody to actually, you know, give Star Wars a 93%. But they've got reviews from back in the day, too. Right. You know. So this is a bad look because so far most of Disney's Star Wars movies have been passable, but now we're down into the Phantom Menace territory. That is so much worse than I thought this was going to get scored. I really thought we were going to be in the 70s.
And like I said, it doesn't matter what the audience score says when it comes out because it goes by the critical score. And we've mentioned many times that we don't think that's right, that it should go by a combination of, you know, audience score and critical score, especially if you're like, you know, confirmed audience.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. It only goes by critical score. It'd be interesting if suddenly the rules change. If it has like an audience score of like 95% and then suddenly the rules change. Oh, we're going to take, you know, audience score, mix it with critical score now for Star Wars. I'll laugh so hard.
Oh, it could be worse. It could be Cats. Cats is at 7% for Cats. So it can always be worse. I don't think that Cats army is going to rise up the way I was hoping.
7%. Well, there was no review. But wait a second. But there was a couple hours ago. There was nothing for Cats.
Oh, now Cats is creeping up to 15%.
But there was nothing earlier. So now they're starting to get reviews in because earlier there was 0. I mean, nothing.
Oh God. Okay. 15%.
Now it's 16% on the side there.
Out of 35 reviews. 16%. Okay, so let's look at some of these. Orlando Weekly. This is what we've been saying. And trying to please everyone, Rise of Skywalker struggles to please anyone.
That's exactly what we've been saying.
And this was really, because Scott Mendelson is a Star Wars guy. Mm-hmm. You know, he usually gives Star Wars movies a pretty favorable review. For him to come out and basically say, it's a bad movie and a miserable finale that serves no purpose other than to reassure adult fans of the original Star Wars they are still the chosen ones of the pop culture galaxy.
Well, that's the reason one's a little ass hurt because there's a lot of these reviews and it's funny to me.
Like this one.
Okay, which one?
From The Beat.
Oh gosh, it's a beat, that's why.
The Rise of Skywalker wasn't a total bust. If you hated The Last Jedi, you might even love it. But it's hard for me to see it as a successful third installment.
Yeah, so what's going on is the people that loved The Last Jedi, the ones who are going around, you know, harassing people, calling them names, you know, you're a man baby, you're misogynist, you're racist, if you don't like it, you're not as highbrow intellectual as us, etc., etc. They're pissed because they undid The Last Jedi to do this one, and so now they know what it feels like, because that's what everybody else has spent the last, you know, 2 years feeling like, except the difference was that movie kind of undid how many decades of Star Wars. Yeah. This one just undid one movie and you're pissed. I mean,
well, again, this is a movie for no one though, because you know, it not only does it undo The Last Jedi, what we're hearing is it undoes it badly, and I've seen the ending. The ending's out there. It's cringe, people. It is pure cringe, and there will be many years of discussion about whether or not Rey is a Mary Sue in this movie.
This completely cinches that she is.
Episode 9 will completely confirm that Rey is the Sueiest Mary Sue of all freaking time. She is textbook. You will see a picture of her face in the Wiktionary.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
With Rey, that is how Mary Sue Rey is in this movie.
I'm out. After I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm out.
I saw the ending. I'm like, F this. Literally.
Well, it wasn't the actual one. That was like the last scene with the Emperor.
With how she completely
Let me just say, if you've seen Stardust and it's like, what do stars do best? Shine at the end where they destroy the witch. It's like that, but with the Emperor. And her shine is all of the Jedi are in her, which sounds dirty.
Not like that, but she is all of the. She has the collective power of all the effing Jedi
to destroy the Emperor, because Anakin and Luke, who were and Anakin was the chosen one to begin with. Luke brought balance, but they didn't have that kind of power. He's a Jedi like him and his father before him. Now she's just all the effing Jedi because
with no training.
I'm every Jedi. It's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, she'll do it.
Oh,
terribly.
Boy.
Sorry.
It's cringe, people. It's cringe. The ending is true. The ending we've been talking about, where she walks off with the Skywalker name.
All of it.
It's all true. This is so you know what? For people to be like, well, if you hate The Last Jedi, you'll like this movie. No, I do not. I hate
The Last Jedi. Still don't like where this movie's going at all.
Yeah, this is bullshit. So, of course, we have the Star Wars Defenders, and there's so many people out there today that were like, one, people don't want to be spoiled. And I completely understand and respect that.
Which we say, don't watch it if you don't want to hear spoilers.
Yeah, and I accidentally spoiled it for somebody that I know.
I know,
and
I didn't know you did that.
I didn't realize that they followed me on the CLOWNFISH Twitter account, and I felt horrible about it, so my apologies. But, we've got people out there that are basically like, well, you can't give an opinion on this until you paid for it and seen it yourself. Translation: Disney doesn't want you to say anything until you've given them your money. And then after
I fell for that. I fell for that for The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I'm not falling for that again.
Nope.
I am not doing it. I gave the money for The Last Jedi. And I didn't get my money back because it was garbage.
Stop the unneeded toxicity and spread the love.
Where were you 2 years ago? Where were you? Okay, it's toxic now because they don't agree with your opinion. But it was completely fine. I bet you money if you look into this person, he's probably one of the people out there calling people man babies and all that.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm like, it's the toxicity now when it's something you don't like.
So is it toxic for USA Today and other news outlets, mainstream news outlets, to point out that this movie is failing miserably, critically? Is that toxicity? Not as bad as Cats, though. It's still doing better than Cats.
How dare they? You're just haters.
How dare they? But
clearly that Hannah is a misogynist. Clearly.
Yeah, right? But everybody's talking about it. It's already dividing the critics. And they go through a lot of the ones we've talked about before. So what is this? I want to talk about this.
This is funny, actually. So Netflix just put up a tweet. This is actually hilarious. They put up a tweet saying, hey, Star Wars The Last Jedi is now on Netflix if you know anyone who needs a quick refresher. Because we're like, hey, we'll leverage this. Why hell not?
Yeah.
Can't blame them there. And the comments is hilarious. Like some of the comments they show here is, you need a quick refresher. This is the way. And it's like The Mandalorian. I don't know what this is. I'm not playing
Hard
it.
pass.
And then it's like, it stunk. There's your refresher.
Ooh.
Now I'm gonna watch Mandalorian instead. Here's a refresher that will save people 2 hours and 30 minutes. Nothing happens.
Yeah, that's what's weird about like The Last Jedi. They literally everybody winds up in pretty much the same place at the end of the movie as where they started the movie, except Luke is dead. But in this movie, they apparently try to cram like 9 movies into one movie. It's just a cluster.
The last 2 anyway.
Yeah, it's it's 8, 9, 8 redo and 9 , but
it's too much.
It doesn't work.
And it comes across like a video game, and I think so. It's funny because the complaints, if you take the complaints apart as what they were, like they did not do with The Last Jedi, because a lot of people had complaints like about pacing, about the story not fitting together, about your mama jokes, about other things that had nothing to do with female characters at all. They are completely thrown out the window because any argument you have is obviously because you're misogynist, racist troll. Now this one, they're bringing up the fact that it feels like a video game. It's too crammed in there, and all that. But where are we going to start calling them misogynist, racist trolls because they have valid points, but we don't want to hear those valid points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, are you going to do the same thing to these people that you did to everybody else for Last Jedi? And if it's such a small effing minority of people, like they kept saying it was, why is it not doing well? And like places like China.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the box office. So we haven't heard anything about the box office for The Rise of Skywalker for weeks. They haven't really been talking about it. And all of a sudden, the bad reviews come in, and then the sites are all ramped up. Oh, it's going to make over $200 million.
They're saying like $450 million globally. That's over across the whole world. That's not 450 million in the United States. That's globally. That's not that great. Plus the fact that, I mean, yeah, it's going to make money, but what I'm not taking into consideration, which I've mentioned this many times before, is how much this movie cost. Because you have the original...
I have it pulled up.
Including the reshoots, including all the money they're spending for synergy and brand deals and, you know, promotion and all the bot tweets and all that. How, you know, everything it's costing.
There's a reason they're keeping quiet because of the reshoots, I think, and because this movie does... I mean, just looking at the trailer, it looks crazy expensive compared to the other movies. No production budget for The Rise of Skywalker has been reported, but... Force Awakens cost $245 million. Last Jedi was $317 million. There wasn't much going on in that movie.
No, it was not good.
Not compared to Force Awakens.
And that cost that much. Okay, for what? Oh, the little crystal foxes. Anyway.
Yes, now they're saying The Rise of Skywalker probably cost between $250, $300. No, I think it's going to be closer to $400 or $500.
They had to reshoot, and those reshoots probably cost about as much. And if it's true they had to redo a lot of changes, it's going to cost. Not to mention the fact that this movie cannot fail because, you know, right now they're at the place where the parks aren't doing well. They're looking bad with Star Wars. They cannot let this fail. So I guarantee you they've spent millions of dollars on promotion, on brand deals, getting themselves on Fortnite. And all this other crap. I mean, it doesn't come free just because they said so. And they're just, you know, making these deals right and left. They're spending tons of money to try to promote the shit out of this thing.
Yeah.
I buy tickets too.
Yeah, right. We gotta have that budget. Well, okay, so people were saying on Twitter, I saw it come up. I guess there's a guy in Scotland. I must follow him or something. But he said that it's opening night there, and like a third of the theater is empty.
Yeah. Because these tickets were marked as sold a lot of times, and they're not. We saw this with Captain Marvel, sold out theaters that were empty.
Solo was empty, and we had to go see it.
I know, but they weren't saying it was sold out for the theaters. That was what I think that one doing bad is why they're you know going out the way they're doing now. We know people that have said that that Disney was giving free tickets out to certain vendors to give to customers to get free tickets to get the people in the seats. You know. I'm just telling you, it might have cost $250 to $300 million on the first take, but till you figure out the reshoots, all the money they're spending, all the promotion they're spending, because they've never promoted like they've promoted this one.
No,
all of this, it's easily $500-600 million, I bet.
Now, the Phantom Menace existed in another time. It got away with the negative reviews because it was the first Star Wars movie in like 16 years.
Right.
And it was before most people had access to, I mean, we had message boards back then, but the internet wasn't used as widely as it is now.
Well, social media wasn't.
Social media wasn't even really around. You had forums, that was it. So it existed in a different time, and people were hungry for Star Wars. It was the first Star Wars movie we had gotten in such a long time. At this point, Star Wars is kind of old hat because Disney just keeps throwing Star Wars at us.
And what's funny to me is the Phantom Menace didn't get the hate it got until way later.
That is true. We were there because I'm old and I remember very well everybody gushing over the Phantom Menace for the first couple weeks. And then they started to think about it and they're like, well, maybe this movie wasn't as good as we thought. Then they like completely did a 180 and it became very fashionable to trash the Phantom Menace, which is not a perfect movie, but I remember the media trashed it more than the fans did.
Mm-hmm. Well, surprise there.
Because of the racial stereotypes, because of Jar Jar Binks and Watto and, you know, all that. That's what I remember. So the media
Imagine that.
But anyway, yeah, this is really interesting. Okay, so George Lucas was creating some groundbreaking technology for the prequels. Even when adjusted for inflation, the prequel and original trilogy budgets were nowhere close to these figures. The prequels, I think it's bloat. I think it's Disney bloat. Mm-hmm. I think Disney, like, because George Lucas was financing these movies himself because he had the money to do it. So, you know, it was just him just paying his own company, ILM or whatever to do the work. But Disney, I think they pad the numbers on the production cost too, because there's no way that The Last Jedi cost $317 million when they spend most of the time on a freaking island, on spaceships, and in a casino.
Yeah.
Where's the money going?
Yeah, I don't know. Like that last planet, probably.
Yeah, Solo was $275 million due to reshoots. Again, I think we're absolutely going to see this thing be $400-500 million. But here's the thing: the Chinese box office.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. It's very important to Disney now. Disney's been trying to grow Chinese fans.
Well, it's so funny. All the media is going on about is the LGBTQ moment in the Rise of Skywalker and how they didn't catch it and stop it in China. That's all I keep going on about. But the real story isn't that. Because honestly, does anybody care? There's a moment like that in the movie? No, not really. You know, contrary to the idea that everybody's just homophobic, racist, misogynist, most people aren't. They don't give a shit. So the real takeaway from it is this.
China doesn't give a shit about Star Wars. It's really bad. So, opening day in China, Wednesday, or opening night previews, $1.9 million in China, most populated country. And they've been trying to grow a Chinese audience with Star Wars ebooks and all this other crazy stuff.
They're translating all the books into Chinese, yeah.
Nobody cares. The reason probably stuck by the censors, the gay kiss, probably because nobody's watching the damn movie and they know nobody's going to watch it. So just put this in perspective, how bad this is. Okay, this is what The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi did. So 33 million opening day for The Force Awakens, and then Last Jedi 9.5 million on opening day. So we've gone from that to 1.9 million.
It's just showing it's not just in the United States. People are just sick to death of these movies. They don't like them. The general audience doesn't care. And I think we'll see what happens when it goes to the general audience here. I mean, maybe they do care, but I don't think they do.
I think Disney has murdered Star Wars. I think, and again, back to what we talked about in another video, Bob Iger's a business guy. He bought Star Wars for $4 billion. He's like, we got to recoup our costs. But there was no story. There was no plan. They're just like, let's just start shitting out movies as fast as we can. And that's what happened. This is what happens when you put the bottom line, put the dollars, because he bought it as a financial decision.
Well, they're spending more time on The Mandalorian because they're trying desperately to build cred with the fans, and that's what they're trying to do. So they're taking things that aren't part of the sequel trilogy, and they're trying so hard to get it right, in quotes, so that people like it, because they're trying to get people back. They're trying to get those dollars. They're losing how much money on not having Baby Yoda ready.
Yeah, right. I mean, the one thing that actually could turn this around, and they screwed. You can't get that right.
No, but then they put Iger on the cover with Baby Yoda. I'm like, seriously.
This is such bullshit. So this is bad. This is, I mean, for the Star, as far as I'm concerned, this is apocryphal. These three movies to me don't exist. I have no desire to watch any of them again because I'm like, I know where the story goes, and it's bullshit. It's a slap in the face to George Lucas's legacy. This is probably why he did not go to the premiere.
Well, wasn't there like a rumor that he had a cut too?
Yeah. So there are a lot of rumors. I think a lot of dirt is going to come out after the dust settles from this, but there was a rumor that George Lucas was called in to try to fix this movie, and he had a version where it actually kind of organically made sense with Luke and Anakin's story, and they scrapped it in favor of Mary Sue Ray.
But that, again, is a rumor. We don't have any confirmation on that one. So, take that for what it is.
But the ending is the laziest damn thing. I mean, we're talking fanfic levels of cringe.
I'm every Jedi.
But it's just bullshit. It's just a bullshit movie. I have no desire to see this movie.
No.
None. None. And I can't believe I feel this way about Star Wars. I mean, I even The Last Jedi, I'm like, well, I'll go check it out. And but this,
Last Jedi, we thought, okay, it's probably going to be. We thought The Force Awakens wasn't bad, so we'll go see The Last Jedi. It's got to be better because they're setting it up, and now they're going to do new things. Oh boy, did they! It wasn't Star Wars.
No.
It was. I don't know what the hell that was.
And this, then we thought, well, maybe they can turn it around with the Rise of Skywalker, and
there was no saving it.
There's no saving it.
It's just. They should just erase that one and did a whole nother episode 8 and 9.
Yeah, it's a mortal stab wound. And now it's forever ruined. Now the Skywalker legacy is forever ruined.
Even their force healing can't save it.
Even the force healing can't save it. Mouth to mouth resuscitation can't save Star Wars. Disney, you've
at least not this trilogy.
No, it's just this is why. And I think Kathleen Kennedy knew this is why she made the announcement the other day that they're going to go on hiatus. I'm like, yeah.
Although they said this for a while. They're not going to do a trilogy again for a while. And actually, I think she's kind of trying to argue not to do trilogies at all, just to do one-offs, because like Rogue One did okay, did really well. Solo still did pretty well. I mean, it was a failure, but it was better than what they're getting now. And I think they're thinking maybe one-offs are better, but...
Yeah, Solo looks like a freaking masterpiece. compared to this. I mean, Solo 70% Rotten Tomatoes. This thing is getting into Phantom Menace
It's
territory.
going to be interesting when people can start putting their, certified audience scores up. I just got a feeling because, if you buy tickets that aren't real tickets, you can still put audience scores up for each of those tickets. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and we saw it with Maleficent. We called that out. They were all very robotic. This movie is greatest movie ever. Beep,
there's
boop,
places in other countries that have AI set up to, you give them the ticket numbers, they can go in and put whatever they want, and that's their job. So
it's another marketing tool. That's what it is. But, people are going to go see this once, I think, and they're going to be like, what a load of shit, and that's going to be it. And that's going to be it.
But but if you don't like it, don't ruin it for everybody else. Of course.
Be positive.
Yeah. I love how they were so positive. You're not better than them for your opinion, even though we've listened to 2 years of people being like, well, you don't get it because it's cerebral and you're just a misogynist moron. Man, baby, boo, hoo, hoo. And it's like,
baby, boo,
I'm just like, you know what? Right back at you. Karma's a bitch. That's all I got to say.
And so is Rey.
And so am I. So there we go.
All right, so we're going to wrap this one up. I'm sure there are going to be many more Star Wars videos this week because I think this is like watching a train wreck in slow motion. It'll be very interesting to see what the audience scores are. So we're going to wrap this up.
Are we going to talk about the sit out tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think what we're going to do, I'll have to schedule that and make sure we have enough time. But we're probably going to do a sit out live stream. We haven't done a live stream in like 2 months. And I think what we're going to do is take the time that we would have spent in the theater on preview night, like every other Star Wars movie for the last 20-some years, and just do a live stream and talk about things we like.
Things we like this year.
Yeah, things we like this year.
We're excited about coming up next year.
Yeah.
That isn't Star Wars, clearly. This Star Wars anyway. So I think we're gonna do that instead and spend the time we would have spent at the movie doing something productive and positive so they can stop saying you're negative.
There we go. That's what I think we're gonna do. So I'll have to schedule that. So we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.